Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
It's finally here. The Macy's Friends and Family Sale with an extra 30% off gifts they'll love. Get an extra 25% off dressed-up designer looks for kids from Calvin Klein and more, plus an extra 25% off Samsonite and Delsey luggage. With great prices from top designers, Macy's has all the best deals you won't want to miss this week. And don't forget to sign up for a Macy's card or use a coupon to get 15% off beauty products they'll love this season. Visit Macys.com to find great holiday deals today.
Stand by. The vacuum tubes are warming up. This is a special live broadcast right here on Georgia Radio.
That's your cue, Wade.
Okay, that would be me. I was doing something else. Imagine that, me getting sidetracked. Well, welcome to the Tuesday night, the first show in December, Tuesday evening Georgia Folk and Farm Life radio show, brought to you by the good folks over at Meeks Cattle Company. And we've had a good week. I hope y'all have too, and starting off well this week. And glad you could join us tonight. And tonight we have a guest that's been with us before, but she's such a great guest and great friend that we have to have her back on now and then. And that's Faye Stapleton Burnett. Faye, did you see where I described you as a cross between Julia Sugarbaker and Chuck Norris?
Yes, and my husband said amen when he heard that. He couldn't have said it better, Wade. You've been warned.
Well, I knew you wouldn't be offended by that. I don't know if Chuck Norris was, but maybe he won't find out about it. I could start to say I don't care, but I do care if Chuck Norris is unhappy with me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you and with all the good folks out there.
Hi, Brock. See, Brock's there sitting beside you.
Yeah, Brock is going to assist me tonight. I hope that's okay.
That is wonderful. I know. Now, we may have some questions for you. And this being like reality TV, you have reality radio. And, it's not made up. Nothing's work. We don't, nothing in advance has been, you haven't heard the questions I might ask you.
No.
It's totally, I promise. I got my finger. Wait a minute. I promise that you have not seen or approved or been made familiar with anything you might be asked. And that's we'll leave it to that. We might ask you some questions. And, yeah. So,
yeah.
Matt.
Good.
Matt.
I'm here. There? I'm here.
Okay.
I'm asked the wrong button.
We haven't done some glitches tonight. Glitches are fun.
It's okay.
Yes,
tell everybody about Meeks Brothers Cattle real quick.
Well, I will, because listen, Steve Meeks and his sons, they have is a local Emanuel County business where they raise cattle and they produce some of the finest beef, and it's vacuum packed and it's grass fed and grain finished beef. It's not like what you buy in the store. It is fantastic. The quality is amazing, and it leaves a good taste in your mouth. I promise you that. They ship, and they can't ship, but they will deliver within, I think, 100 miles. But they serve the surrounding areas, not just Emanuel County. If you're in this area of Georgia and you want the finest beef to be had, get with Meeks Brothers, our sponsor. Yeah. I've lost the video with Faye here.
Well, just go ahead and start asking her the questions. That might
what
be
questions?
Oh my gosh.
Am I going to be interrogated, Wade?
Yes. Yes. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Is it like being called in front of Congress or what?
Right. You know how there was grill you? Yeah. I'm lighting a cigar right now.
Yeah, I'll say I don't recall.
Yes. Never. Yeah, don't be definite. I don't recall that
I don't
because
recall.
of
That's right. That's
multitude of sins. And,
Yeah.
and Brock being a pastor, you can appreciate that.
right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, if you're not familiar with Faye is a retired dentist. We went to school together, not dental school. I went to high school. I'm not a student. I ain't a tooth dentist. And my daddy was saying.
I was just waiting to see where this went, Faye.
But we went to high school together at DEA in Stillmore, Georgia. And then Faye and Brock married Brock. She married Brock, and he became Mr. Stapleton. I mean, she became Mrs. Burnett.
That's right.
And so he's a retired pastor, and Faye is retired as a dentist, but she lives a full life. She has a hobby of scouring old Georgia newspapers from the past and looking up things of interest. She's written a couple of books. How many books now, Faye?
Well, about 4. Yeah.
I thought I was going to say 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Well,
4.
The Hanging of Susan Eberhardt was your first book, and then you've done some compilations of things you've gleaned, comedy and other things you've gleaned from historic archive Georgia newspapers. And she amazes me at things she ferrets out. But speaking of old newspapers and Christmas, we haven't mentioned Christmas, but Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
And so what's the earliest reference to Christmas you found in a Georgia newspaper? You ever find any?
You could have probably guessed that I would want to talk about historic newspapers and Christmas. So
right.
I did do a word search, and the earliest mention I could find in a Georgia newspaper was from the Georgia Gazette, published in Savannah, Georgia, in 1765. And the word Christmas was mentioned, but it was not a good event that it was mentioned in reference to, and I don't even want to go down that road. But that was the earliest, and I just thought it was interesting that they were publishing newspapers in 1765 in Savannah.
Yeah, that was before we became a nation.
Yeah,
colony,
absolutely.
Georgia colony.
Yes.
Well, you find a lot of good stuff in those old newspapers, and it's always amazing to me that there's so much out there. There's still a lot of papers that haven't been digitized and put out there to make them easy to search.
That's right.
But it's a growing list, and that's good.
It is a growing. As funds become available, they add new editions all the time. And I've mentioned this before, but the University of Georgia has a very good free database that anybody can access online to search old historic Georgia newspapers. And once you figure out how to navigate and do searches and filters, if you like history and genealogy, it can just kind of take over your life. But that's okay. There's worse things to take over your life.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, speaking of money, what is the largest Christmas gift ever given in Georgia, in your opinion?
Okay. Well, Wade, do you have a guess of what it would have been?
Largest Christmas gift. I don't know, maybe 60 by 40.
No, let me start off. Let me start off with the message.
Oh, you mean monetary value? Okay.
Yeah, I'll say monetary value.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive Christmas gift ever given in the state of Georgia?
Well, $1 million is a good round figure, so we'll say $1 million.
Okay, let me begin with the message attached to what this is. Just what I say was the largest Christmas gift. I don't know, but I'm going to say it. I beg to present you as a Christmas gift.
Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, boo, hiss.
Boo. I beg to present you as a Christmas gift the city of Savannah with 150 heavy guns and plenty of ammunition, and also about 25,000 bales of cotton.
Yeah, boo, hiss. We're not even going to say who that scoundrel was that presented Abe Lincoln with the city of Savannah for Christmas of 1864.
Wouldn't you say if you could monetize that would be the largest Christmas gift ever given in Georgia?
Yeah, because you got, there was Dixie Crystal's sugar refinery and the IP pulp mill and, all those container warehouses and the, container ports. So, yeah, it was a pretty good gift, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that. So, you here in the South in Georgia, you kind of always think about that was a pivotal pivotal event.
Yeah, for those of you that might not know, that was, if you know your history, that was where W.T. Sherman had made it to Savannah and captured it, and it would have been given over to him, and he presented it in a message, I think a telegram to Lincoln as a Christmas gift.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, I knew you would have known that, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. I will say that if you look back in the early newspapers, we're going back into the 1700s and the early 1800s, there was, newspapers in general were about 4 pages long. Even small towns that had a newspaper like Louisville, Georgia, they would have events from around the world. There wasn't a lot of write-up about like what people were doing at Christmas, like we think about Christmas advertisements and that kind of thing. But there was something you would see commonly in the early 1800s. It would be bank notices that if you had a loan that was due on December 25th, that they would be closed on Christmas Day. So you better get in there and pay it by the 24th. So that was, as if we don't all know that,
So bankers have been bankers that, much the same for
yes.
centuries.
Yeah, they didn't wish you a Merry Christmas. They just wanted you to know you better get in there by the 24th.
Was this the Bank of Ebenezer Scrooge? Yes.
Yeah. But actually, you see it throughout early newspapers. That was, like I said, I just did a search term for Christmas just to see what would pop up, and that was one of the earlier things. Also, let's see. I'm just looking down my notes. Wait, I have to go by notes. I'm getting old here. You were going to ask me something else. What's your next question?
Well, what were some unusual gifts given for Christmas advertised in the newspaper?
Okay, let me get this pulled up. This is from the Weekly Banner, which was an Athens, Georgia newspaper. Now it's known as the Athens Banner Herald for those of you who follow things in Athens. This is from 1912, so this is 110 years ago. And there was a department store named Davison Nicholson Company that had Christmas gifts, a whole page of Christmas gifts. And this would be something that the men would buy for their wives. So I'm going to let Brock read this selection of what would be a good Christmas gift. And let me go ahead and warn everybody, this is politically incorrect. And Brock is engaged in this political incorrectness. He's from West Virginia, so he's been doing this a long time. Here you go. Okay.
For Christmas gifts, another large shipment received by Saturday's Express. Nothing more appropriate as a Christmas gift than a pretty set of furs. We're showing the largest line we've ever displayed in lynx, mink, fox, coon, beaver, wolf, possum, Persian lamb, moleskin, and coney. All new shapes and styles are here for you to select from. Prices range from $4.50 to $80 for the set.
Wow.
Actually, my favorite on that list is the possum. I didn't know.
Okay. Possum. All right, Wade, do you know what a coney is?
No, you gonna try to make me admit I don't know something in front of God and everybody on radio? I
want to prove that I know something that you don't know. Do you know what a coney fur is?
Coney fur?
Coney.
Yeah.
Coney or C-O-N-E-Y?
Yes, C-O-N-E-Y.
I know, but I'm not going to tell y'all.
Oh, okay. It's a rabbit.
Let me Google it right now. I don't know. I do not know.
It's a rabbit. And opossum was my favorite. And your husband loves you when he gets you an opossum fur coat for Christmas. I'm thinking that might have been the $4.50 one. But Brock, when we talk about moleskin, we think of moleskin now being a cotton fabric that's a little bit brushed. This was literally moleskin. So let Brock tell you just a wee bit, because Brock is a trapper. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, I grew up in West Virginia, but that was a long time ago. But I was intrigued by the moleskin. And
how many moles it take to make one?
Actually, I have the answer to that. It was 500.
I have saved 500 moles in my entire life.
Yeah, and who in the world invented that? Well, the Europeans. In every little parish from the late 1700s to the early 1800s, they had a mole catcher. Unbelievable.
I've got a friend who has a mole catcher.
They're blind. They got little stubby legs. They're like me. They're easy to catch. What?
Well, no.
That's nothing to be proud of.
Listen, Trev's the mole hunter, lives on my friend Stephen Nia's place. The family farm there with Gar and all of them over in Wells, and he's no kidding, the mole hunter. He gets paid by how many moles he can kill every day, and he keeps them in his coat. And at the end of the day, he shows up, and I think she's happy that he's employed.
You imagine telling, what does your son do? Oh, he's a doctor. What does your son do? You'd lie and say he's a dog catcher, but he's really the mole catcher. But I hate to say that.
Well, he's making fur coats, I guess.
Yeah. Apologies to dog catchers. Yeah, but can you imagine? They didn't have sewing machines then. You imagine going out and taking 500 moles, dressing them, doing all the stuff you have, and getting those little hides and sewing them together.
Well, that's why they had to dye them different colors, because they couldn't find 500 that looked exactly alike.
What do you think that was the possum coat? And I'm just curious.
They should have gone to a Mole family reunion, Brock, and they could have found a bunch of looked about alike.
Was the possum dyed as well? Was that a faux fur?
Yeah, they was dead.
Or was it? Yeah. Was it made to look like something else, or was it just legitimately?
Probably dyed if there was variation.
No, it was legitimate. Yeah. It's real fur.
So you'd want to say this is possum fur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't. But
yeah. They weren't making it into a mink, I guess is what I'm.
No, they turned muskrats into mink. They shaved the long hairs off the muskrats and sold them for mink.
You have to understand that Brock literally
with the muskrats after they shaved them.
Yes.
Yeah, they just trimmed it.
They shaved the guard hairs off and sold them.
They turn them loose and let them grow more like sheep.
No, they were.
You'd have to have manual dexterity and good hand coordination to be a muskrat shearer.
Yeah.
You have to understand that Brock literally grew up trapped, and he's had traps and stretchers. And every time we pass roadkill, he takes his foot off the accelerator. I know what he's thinking because it looks like a good one.
That one's still pliable. Rigor mortis says.
Don't think he wouldn't do it.
Honk your horn to scare the buzzards away. Yeah. Listen, I'm having to. It's about break time for us to go.
Okay.
Break, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, we'll take a quick one here real fast.
Hi, this is Wade Peoples from Georgia Folk and Farm Life Radio. I'm here to tell you about Meeks Brothers Cattle Company. And you don't have to worry about supply chain issues or where your beef comes from. Do what I do and call Meeks Brothers Cattle Company today. You can get a whole, half, a quarter, any amount of beef you want. Good quality beef, vacuum packed, lasts up to 3 years in your freezer. It's grass-fed, grain-finished, made to order. Visit Meeks Brothers Cattle Company on Facebook today and tell them Brother Wade sent you. And that's Meeks Brothers Cattle Company. Thank you.
I know you can hear me, and so can your customers. Lots of people don't take kids seriously. Well, listen up. Advertising on Georgia Radio is seriously easy and affordable. Visit georgiaradio.com/advertise, or better yet, call the station. So let's talk. Your customers are listening, and so is my mom. Hi, Mom.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $600 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that's right for you with accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate band, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends December 6th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 6, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Find deals you can believe in at Meijer. Right now, save $10 on your next in-store purchase with coupon printed at checkout when you spend $100 or more. And get Meijer Spiral Sliced Half Ham for 89 cents per pound. Limit 2. Fashion or winter boots or slippers for the family are buy one, get one for $1 when you shop in-store. And December home lifelike trees are 40% off. Find everything you need for the holidays and get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Georgia Radio. Good company and great country.
You know, enjoying the country music.
Well, now, you made it through the break, and we did too, and we're back with you now with Georgia Folk and Farm Life radio show with Brock Burnett and his wife, Faye, who is keeping us in stitches here. We're talking about furs and Christmas in the old days and things she's gleaned from old newspapers that happen to match up with the questions I have for her tonight, and which is an amazing coincidence.
It's truly, it's almost like you're psychic, Wade. I mean,
it's uncanny.
Yeah.
But
you could use that word, yeah. Okay.
One of my favorite topics when you get to my age, a younger man, you might say, "Oh, wait, this is radio," you know. But once you get my age, you know, one of my favorite topic is food. So I was thinking about asking you this, Faye, but you know, can you give us some sample Christmas menus from Georgia history? But I could probably guess it was probably mole, muskrat, possum.
Whatever was inside the fur.
Beaver. Yeah, well, they had a lot of meat left over.
That's right.
Did you imagine cooking? You know, I know I've read in medieval history and the kings and queens of Europe, from those spoiled people that were just lived these outrageous lifestyles on the backs of, you know, untold thousands of peasants that labored, that they would eat. You know, they would have banquets and things, especially in France and Moscow also. Moscow really copied France on everything and emulated them. But things, you know, they would have they would kill enormous amounts of little critters to have a banquet. And I remember Nightingale's soup was one. You know, Nightingale had a beautiful bird that had a beautiful voice, and they would kill hundreds and hundreds of nightingales just to cut their little tongues out and make a. I really probably shouldn't have mentioned this, but But on a lighter note, maybe you could tell us about from Christmas menus from Georgia history.
Yeah, I have one menu. It's funny you should ask me that because I have one pulled up here.
Happen to have that. Yeah.
This was from 1911, so 11 years ago, from Hartwell, Georgia, Hartwell Sun. This is called a simple Christmas menu: oyster cocktail, olives, salted almonds, cream of tomato soup, roast turkey, boiled dressing. I've never heard of boiled dressing. Cranberries, celery, potato.
I bet it was the canned kind, like God intended.
I don't think so. Celery, potato croquettes, spinach, creamed onions. They used to do that. Cabbage salad on lettuce leaves, plum pudding with hard sauce. I'm sure that means rum.
Liquor, rum.
Yeah, vanilla ice cream in glasses. White mountain cake, which is a cake with a sort of a marshmallow buttercream icing, bonbons, crackers, cheese, and coffee. And if you read in history back, even, in the early 1900s, oysters were huge.
Oysters.
They had oyster dinners all the time, fundraisers and oysters.
In the 19th century and the early, oysters were very much more common in menus, especially on railroad passenger trains, nice hotels. They always pushed the oysters. Yes,
it's just kind of interesting to me that without refrigeration, even they somehow managed to get them there. But
well, in the days with the railroad, railroads could get things around very quick. They'd ice them down. Once they got, they had ice houses, and then they would ice things down and get them probably more quickly than people think. But that I moved into Hartwell right now. I want to eat that place. What year was that?
That was 1911.
1911.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We did the air math a while ago.
But
Well,
I don't have another menu, and I actually want to skip over in the interest of time to maybe question 7. I'm psychically thinking you're going to ask me something.
Yeah.
Else.
And it might involve Brock reading a poem about mistletoe. It's amazing. How did I guess that?
Okay.
I amazed myself.
It's crazy.
What does Brock happen to have? Question number 7, can Brock read a poem about mistletoe? I've numbered them in advance. I'd like to have it up with his feathers. I got them all numbered, just in case. Would he happen to have a poem about mistletoe?
It's funny you should ask, because we do have a poem about mistletoe that he's going to read. And I'm fixing to maybe stump you and Matt. I don't know. Have you ever heard the expression toe the scratch? TOE as in toe?
Toe the scratch. Oh, yes. Yes.
I've heard,
yeah.
Shut, Matt, you're lying.
Absolutely. I've heard of toe the scratch.
You have not.
It's a very old Texas term.
You scratched your toe, maybe, but is it something like toe the line? But no.
Kind of like toe the line, but I'll tell you, and the reason I'm asking is because it's the last line of the poem. I'd never heard that expression. Back in the day, this comes from 1916, that they would have in a boxing match, they would scratch a line and the opponents would line up on the scratch and they would toe the scratch. And basically it means let the match begin. Right. Let the match begin. Toe the scratch. So having said that, I give you Brock Burnett reading a poem written in, this was in the Bartow, Cartersville. Oh my gosh, Matt, that's where you're from, right? I mean, you don't.
Well, Carrollton, Carrollton area.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mixed up. Okay, anyway, this is from Cartersville, so it starts with a C. Here's a poem about mistletoe.
Pardon my accent, Wade. I'm from West Virginia.
Yeah, you're pardoned.
I kissed her, yes, I did, beneath the mystic mistletoe, when Christmas bells were pealing out across the drifted snow. And just my style, and she was a maiden sweet to see, and just my style to boot. And so upon her ruby lips, I placed a swift salute, for she had twined the buried bow on chandelier and wall, and wreathed it all around the door, and draped it in the hall, and pinned it to the picture frames, and hung it on the latch, and tucked it in her hair, and so I had to toe the scratch.
I love it. Well, nothing says.
Yeah,
I love that. Nothing. Who wrote that?
It was in the American Press. Let's see if it says. Oh, excuse me. It does. Minna Irving, and it has a photograph in the newspaper in 1916 of a young, lovely lady with a hat on with mistletoe all over it. She wasn't taking any chances. She put it everywhere.
Well, and there's nothing that says Christmas in Georgia in the South like mistletoe. And I know good folks that, we have shot mistletoe down. We're not, we've been on the lazy side in the South, and shooting down mistletoe is a good Christmas tradition. Have you ever done that, Brock? You ever shot down mistletoe?
I have, yes.
See?
I don't know if you've ever used it, but let's see. I'm looking at.
Wait, I think you've got a caller here.
I do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear it.
What's going on, Uncle Wade?
Uh-oh.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
Ain't a whole lot to it. About to head to the house.
We've got Brian Sparks on here. He accidentally calls during the show sometimes, and well, I'm glad you're headed home. You're through for the day. But what you got on your mind, huh?
Not a whole lot. What y'all talking about?
We've got Faye Stapleton and her husband Brock on. We've talked about Christmas past.
Hey, Mr. Brock.
Hey,
man.
Howdy.
A fellow Metterites there. Faye's originally from Metter, so.
There you go.
She's good people then.
You darn tootin'. Yeah.
They're talking about toeing the scratch.
Toeing the scratch.
Yeah, it's an old old Texas term that Wade hadn't heard of.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
I hadn't
You've heard toe the line.
Hold on. Back up. Matt, did you just say Wade had not heard of?
He's never heard of Toe.
Now,
I
why
can't
did you
believe it.
say that, Matt?
I cannot believe you never heard of Toe the
That
Scratch.
was the dictionary of Georgia.
I know, but
He hadn't heard of that.
it didn't get here until later.
Apparently, it didn't get till now.
I admitted it, Brian. I did. I admitted that I didn't know. I know it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, tell all of us that's come on late what it means.
Well, in the old days in boxing matches, they didn't have a ring. They would set up the fight, and they would make a scratch on the ground or on the floor, and the two opponents in the boxing match would stand toe to toe there at toe the scratch. It's like toeing the line, but toeing the scratch.
Huh.
Now that you know what it means, have you ever done it? Yeah, yeah. You probably toed the scratch a time or two. Could you you tussle when you was a boy?
Kind of like making a line and saying, "I dare you to cross it."
Right. Yeah. And then you back up and make another one. I dare you to cross that line. Yeah.
I'm a hush when I say a political comment. I'm more of the olden days. You cross that line, we're gonna have to see how tough you are because you done pulled my bluff.
But now that you're an ordained minister like Brock here, you can't be fighting like that.
You are correct, but I will have. Sometimes I got to keep my word.
You could tell the scratch and pray for them.
I may be wrong, but sometimes you just got to keep your word.
It's not your fault if they get slain in the spirit, Brian.
Thank you.
I'm just going to leave it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
When you pray for people, sometimes you have to lay hands on them. Ain't that right, Mr. Brock?
Lay hands on them.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Brian, we're going to have to let you go. We're coming to the end. We're going to have to do the closing. I love you, my wonderful Brian. You just don't know what this man's meant in my life. We'll have him on sometime and talk about that. But love you.
I love you too, buddy. Good talking to y'all.
Wade, can I end with one small thing?
Certainly.
Okay, this is from 1917, which means we were in the midst of World War I, and this is a small little quote. It's called "Christmas the Same as Ever." Christmas time. That man must be a misanthrope indeed, in whose breast something like a jovial feeling is not roused, in whose mind some pleasant associations are not awakened by the recurrence of Christmas. There are people who will tell you that Christmas is not to them what it used to be. Never heed such dismal reminiscences. Reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has many, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some. Our life on it, but your Christmas shall be merry and your new year a happy one. This was a quote from Charles Dickens.
I like that.
Everyone, a Merry Christmas. There's always a reason to be happy and joyful in this time of year.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Faye, and thank you, Brock.
Yes, sir.
You're most welcome.
I always love it when
Matt?
Faye comes on. I really do.
It's
Faye needs her own show. I always say that.
She does need her own show.
Yeah.
We've mentioned that before, but it would be great.
Matt, I had a good one about an airplane for Santa Claus coming in on a jet airplane in 1900, but I know that we're running short.
Well, what happened in 1900?
Yes.
Okay. A jet airplane, 1900.
Yes, I will send. Have you got about 1 minute? Or no?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. This was in. Y'all know where Adel is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The Adel News in 1900. It's called the 20th Century Santa Claus. It's got a beautiful ink sketch of Santa Claus on a 1900 jet, what they thought it would look like. Here's the poem. In years gone by, when motive powers were yet to be developed, Kris Kringle made his Christmas trips with deer and sleigh enveloped in furs and robes to shield them from the blast of breeze frigid, which in the far-off northern clime would quickly freeze him rigid. But with the passing years, he found his calling list increasing, the number of his little friends enlarging without ceasing, compelling him to seek a means of greater expedition, that he might yet more swiftly speed upon his kindly mission. As time went by, more speedy means of travel were invented, and with each new one, Santa Claus was more and more contented. Of each, in turn, the good old saint became the proud possessor, and for his purpose each, he thought, outstripped his predecessor. So for the 20th century, he, the latest mode, is trying an airship of a special build for swift and distant flying. From place to place, he darts through space like a huge bird a-winging. So each and all from cloudland down, his gifts and blessings bringing. Written by Frank Welch. And it's a beautiful picture. I'll send it to you, Matt and Wade, of Santa on a jet in 1900.
There you go.
I like that.
Hard to imagine. I mean, the Wright brothers were just trying out their gliders at that, in 1899. I mean,
when you see this, Wade, I'll have to put it on Georgia Folk if anybody wants to see.
That's great. That'd be great.
It's a wonderful, wonderful picture. Yeah.
There you go. Well, thanks again for coming on, Faye.
You're most welcome.
Wade, you got anything else as you wrap up?
Conway is gurring me. He wants his head scratched. No, that's going to wind it up, and we appreciate it. It's been a great show, as always, and we'll have Faye and Brock on again. And just want to thank everybody for listening and the support. Thanks, Meeks Brothers Cattle Company, for being our sponsor. It's just a special thing to be involved with good Christian people like them. And with you, Matt, and Georgia Radio. We love it. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Happy Christmas.
Georgia Radio. Good company and great country.
Enjoying the country music.
Come one, shop all at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, use your 30% off coupon inside the JCP app and shine on with up to 60% off diamond solitaires and studs. Plus, get carried away with up to 70% off luggage from Samsonite, American Tourister, Skyway, and more. Anyone shops, everyone saves. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items through 12/7. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $600 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that's right for you with accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate band, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends December 6th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 6, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.